Calling all podcasters, musicians, vloggers, and reporters, and everyone else who wants crystal clear recording that's super portable. The Shure Motive family of microphones makes studio-quality audio that's as simple as plug and play. Many of the world's top podcasters rely on Shure, and with a Motive line of iOS and USB microphones, portability is now your friend. Imagine being able to get great audio quickly and easily from your phone, tablet, or computer. Simply visit shure.com/motive to start getting great audio for your content now. That's SHURE.com/MOTIV.
Blog Talk Radio. Unmarket Your Business, the podcast. Born out of the need to share strategies and techniques that really work to market your business. Think yellow page ads and cold calls are your only choices? That's so last century. You're about to learn tested, tried and true marketing techniques you can apply and master. Ones that feel authentic instead of salesy. Strategies that are true to who you are and how you want to present yourself to your ideal clients. Let's join our host, Carol Joyce Dunlop, in the studio now and allow business success to move forward. Well, hey there, everyone. How you doing? I am Carol J. Dunlop, your host for the Unmarket Your Business podcast. I have a very special guest I'm going to bring on in just a second. But first, I want to know if you've gotten your book or not. If you haven't gotten your book, you need to go to csicorporation.com/book and get that book right now because it's about to be Black Friday weekend. It's a perfect time for you to get your strategies in place to market your business because guess what? That's what it's all about because if you ain't marketing, you ain't selling. If you ain't selling, you ain't eating. So that's how we're going to say that. So I want to help you to be successful in marketing your business and making the money you want, living the lifestyle you want because I've taken everything I've had in my little brain for the last 23 years and put it in that book. So csicorporation.com/book. And guess what? If you go there now and there's right above the Buy Now button, there's a link that says buy 2 or more. What more perfect of a gift is that than to give the gift of business success? So you can get one book for you and you get another book for a friend or loved one or relative, and you can save money on it right now if you buy 2 or more. And then also I'm doing something very special. If you put in the code at checkout, Unmarket Book, all one word, Unmarket Book, you'll save $5. So thank you very much. There you go. There's your Christmas present. More to come, more to come. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my very special guest who I met via LinkedIn. So if anyone tells you that they don't know how to do LinkedIn, they don't get anything from LinkedIn, tell them to come talk to me because I will tell them how I have met so many awesome guests for my podcast, JV partners in my business, and people that I genuinely like on LinkedIn, and LaChelle Adkins is one of them. We had a rousing conversation, and I was like, look, your story is so unique and awesome that I need to get you on the podcast. I know my listeners will enjoy it. So without any further ado, LaChelle, how you doing today?
I am wonderful. I am so glad to connect with you, and I know our schedules have been a little hectic, so I'm excited to see what I can do to add value to your audience. So thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Well, taking time out because, as I said, as a teaser in a couple of the posts I did, that you have 13 children. You've been married 24 years, and you came to being a life coach by way of some things that happened to you in your life. And you're like, look, there are some things out there that I can help people with, so here I am. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get straight into the strategies for living the most successful life you can.
Sure. So actually that number is a little, needs to be a little inflated. We have 15 altogether.
Oh, my God.
So I had 13. Me and my husband had 13 together, and then I have 2 stepchildren. Their ages range from 3 to 27. And we just have one grandbaby who is 6 months younger than our youngest daughter. So I was the only child. And was pretty much driven with career, education. My mom was one of 12 kids, and education was just her way of kind of escaping the humble beginnings she had with a large family. Her parents had divorced when she was young, and she was, for a long time, the only graduate from college from all of her siblings. So education was something she pushed with me. So I was always on the career track. Didn't think that I would have this many children, but God had another plan, and it has really helped me be where I am today, and especially with life coaching.
Cool. That is so awesome. My hats, all of them, are off to you because, as an entrepreneur, we wear many hats. We're chief bottle washer, maker, everything. So all my hats are off to you for having 15 children that you are responsible for and just helping them to be productive, what do we say, productive citizens, awesome adults, whatever it is.
Yes, actually, yes, you're right. While trying to maintain your own sanity. Yeah. Yeah, and that's
definitely
really kind of what got me, that got me into life coaching because, I never really experienced having siblings, what that's like, dividing your time amongst a lot of people. And I was actually hospitalized 3 times, 2 for stress and 1 for postpartum depression. And my last hospitalization was just of October last year. And from that last experience, the Lord just really renewed my mind about a lot of things, about really having realistic expectations, recognizing that, you cannot control things. And that was really the issue. When you have your kids, you think, okay, we can control, this is when you go to bed, this is the, homework schedule and all these different things to kind of maintain a sense of order. There are so many different things that you can't control. And it really kind of just took me on this downward spiral. So after that, I learned to lean more on God and really be authentic with who I am, which has really given me a platform to really share and really help a lot of people with a lot of struggles and challenges that they're having in their life.
That is awesome and amazing, and I'm glad that you were able to recognize your gift and start to use your gift so you can help others, because a lot of us don't. No, we don't recognize the gift and we don't use it. We keep it buried, and we how you feel that little nagging in the back of your neck saying you need to be doing this. You're like, nah, later on, or I'll put that off later. But you listen to the call, and that's good because I know that people are being helped with that. So let's get into some of these strategies. That you've used. What's like your number one strategy for living the successful life you want?
Okay, I think the number one strategy first is to be authentic. A lot of times we battle with feeling like, we have to be the best mom. My husband and I have our own church, so I'm a first lady. He used to be in the military as an officer, so, officer family, and you got all these different expectations, plus you have what's going on in society that's having these expectations for you. So when you're trying to be who you are, the best thing is to be authentic, being able to know your own voice. And so that really was something that was a challenge for me before I got into life coaching, was recognizing which voice was mine. I was so busy doing everything for all people that that was just my quest, was just trying to please this person, trying to please this one, that one. And, even at home, it's like all these kids all at home needing different things, trying to please everybody. And it's impossible. So the first thing was the best strategy for living your best life.
And how do you go about figuring that out? I mean, I know it's sometimes it's really like very simple, but we don't often listen to that. So how do you even find your authentic voice?
Well, one of the things that, I first recommend for people to do is kind of take a social pause. I'm in the middle of doing like a social media cleanse now myself, but I've stopped watching TV. I have got off social media, and, we have all this socialism that has caused us to kind of think how we're supposed to dress in professional ways and how we're supposed to talk and what our business is supposed to be set up like. We have all these different formulas and things that people have told us that we have to do in order to be successful. And so
right.
I'm not saying those things are not good, but a lot of times you can be so robotic with following a formula that you really don't take time to gauge what you're thinking. And so just even having a pause just to unplug your phone for an hour. You know, we're so busy being stimulated with, you know, a text message or whatever, and we just don't take time to think. And it's really kind of scary because people don't want to, they just like these distractions to kind of stop this roller coaster of, you know, stress or depression or whatever things that they may be challenged with. You know, they're never really facing that. They're doing all these things to kind of keep them always stimulated. And so this is how these problems start small and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
You are so right about that, because I know when I get the most overwhelmed in doing whatever, just like now, getting, you know, the book has come out and marketing the book, getting ready for Black Friday weekend and all that, I have to take time. And my husband tells me, he was like, what are you stressing about now? Okay, stop it. And then before, because what's going to happen is you're going to stop stressing about it, then you're going to start stressing about something else. So I do have to take time to pause and to think and to feed your body, feed your mind, and really just figure out, like you said, who is the authentic you. Because I feel like now there's so many voices coming from different ways. They're coming from celebrities, from the media, from the politicians, the preachers, your best friend, your mama, your dad, you know, all that. And so you have to figure out who you really are so you can be successful in life and in business. Because I know that I've covered a lot of marketing strategies, you know, on the podcast and how to get your business out there. But if your life is messed up, you're not going to be able to market anything.
Amen. Amen to that. That definitely is true. And, you know, I feel like, you know, you're really able to add more value. So let's take you, for example, with your book launch, right? If you're kind of clear about your voice, you know who your target end user is for your book, right? You're able to offer them different products, you know, or different specials because you know what your focus is. You know how you want to add value, and so you create more of an experience. You know, you're connecting with your audience and these type of things. And so if we're so caught up in doing what, you know, who's the next bestseller and, you know, you're following everybody else's footprint, you're kind of missing out on that connection that you can have with your own people, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and you are so right, because if you're running around trying to do what everyone else is doing, you're missing what you need to be doing, even though you know, some other marketing person may be hitting the same audience. They may not be hitting it like I am or coming through with the suggestions or the information that I do. And people are like, well, I don't want that, I want you, or I don't want you, I want that. And you have to be prepared for that. And there's no way to know that unless you take a pause, look at what's going on, do a little research, do a little cleansing of your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, and see where you really are. And I found also that if you stick to your guns, if you stick to what you really feel you is authentic, is your voice, then the people who want to be with you will be with you. You know, they will come and find you and follow you, buy from you, whatever, and it won't be like it's sleazy selling or icky feeling or anything. It'll just be like a conversation. You know, I need to market my business. I have 10 ways for you to market your business. Why don't you get the book? Okay, I will. Boom. Be done.
Definitely. You know, and that's so important because, you know, you want to be around like-minded people. And one of the things I tell people just in life being a coach is that, you know, it's a journey. You're going to go through transition. You know, right now I still have a toddler, but eventually she's going to grow up. I'm not going to be doing the same thing when she's a teenager as she is now as a toddler. And so it's an evolution. So there are things that I may do now, later on, I may not do. And so you have to prepare yourself for change because things are not going to stay the same. But there's, you know, the whole thing about being you and your authentic self is going to be the thing that's going to give you that foundation so that as you change and adapt, I mean, that's even like social media. I mean, a year ago I was not on LinkedIn. And now I can't stay off of it. You see what I'm saying? So it just kind of depends. Yeah, it just depends on, you want to be ready for those type of transitions. And when you're stressed out and not able to see clearly and overwhelmed, it is just going to delay you with being successful and having the best life that you can.
That is so true. I love that. Now, what are some other strategies that you have for us? Because I'm so embedded in that one. I'm like, that is just, if you get that one thing down, I think you could conquer everything else. But I know you got some other stuff for us, so let me have it.
Okay, the first one, another one is fear. Now, I always talk about this because fear is, our body's designed to prepare us for it. We got flight or fight, so a lot of times when you're going into the unknown, your brain has already calculated how they do things and how you're efficient and what works for you. And a lot of times something that's changing and different, they're going to kind of fight against you with that. I don't have a system for it. This is just, you just don't even need to be bothered with this. So fear is always going to be with us. So one of the things I tell my clients is that we need to use fear in order to propel us into success. So I use fear as an acronym. Yeah. So the first letter of fear is to focus. And so this is kind of like the beginning with, finding your own voice, focusing on where you're going, eliminating your distractions and moving forward. The E stands for educate. So if I want to pursue something different, let's say I'm, have had a good career, got a lot of connections, I want to write a book. I don't know anything about writing a book. That doesn't mean I don't do it. It means I educate. I do my research. I find out what kind of book I want to write. I start, breaking it down into small enough chunks so that it's not something that I just totally shy away from. I just keep on making it smaller and smaller and smaller and educating myself on ways that I can overcome that fear about doing it, if that's what I've been called to do. The A stands for action. And so, we go to these motivational talks. We listen to people. We read books. But then we don't want to have any action. It stays on our shelf and we tell everybody about it, and then we don't have any action. So action is important in order for you to grow. A lot of people say, well, you need your failures. I'd say there is no failures. It's action. So you look at Albert Einstein, and he did a lot of experiments. He was in action, experimenting. So those experiments that didn't turn out, let him know that those weren't the right path to take, but he eventually found the solution that he was looking for. So I was going to say we don't have failures. We have action. And so the minute you stop your action is when you're going to stop your progress because, that's the whole thing about growth, about change, is moving and acting. So that's the next letter. The last one is results. And so the work that you're doing, you should be seeing the results from. Now, a lot of people kind of shy away from that because the results may not be the results they want. I may write a book and maybe it's not a bestseller. That doesn't mean that my results are not where they should be. It's about taking that time to reflect, taking that time to really ask yourself those questions. How could I have done this better? What could I have done to simplify? How can I take this and use the tools that I have in order to enhance it or scrap it or whatever the case is. And that's really the hardest step because a lot of people, we just want everything to always work out. We get motivated. We see people doing stuff, and it's like, hey, this is my friend. I know her. I saw where she started. And so we expect the same results. They have been working hours behind the scenes. I call them heroes in the dark because they've been doing all this dark work, and they come out shining like heroes, and everybody can identify with, where they're at now, but they don't see all the dark, the lonely, the, sacrificing that they had to do in the dark. So
you are so right about that. You are so right about that. We just see the overnight successes and the people who have a million people following them, and they're like, oh, it's so easy. And sometimes, you have to be careful about the people that you follow, because they'll come out and say, oh, how I went from not having any money, living out of a trash can, to now I'm in this big, huge mansion, and I have servants, and I'm hiring all these people. Like, okay, but they just, it seems like it's overnight, but they don't tell you it took them like 5, 10, 15 years, and, plenty of failures. This didn't work, that didn't work. This one thing worked for a while, then I had to change it. And even in their stories, it's kind of like everything's abbreviated. They leave out the meat. They just give you the rice and the gravy, and they're like, okay, come on, follow me, and I'll tell you how to do it. And then when you start doing it, you're like, well, like you're looking at the fear thing, you don't see the results. Well, you can't have the results without the action, without being educated, and without focusing. I love that. Oh, that's good. Good. You got some more stuff for us? That's good. I'm like taking notes.
So, really, that really is the basis, because, when you overcome fear, and I'm not saying that it's something that we're ever going to overcome. That's just like if I am a swimmer and I'm a diver and I start off on a lower diving board and I want to work higher and higher and higher, there is going to be that fear there. And that's going to be the unknown. That's going to be the potential, but we don't have to let that fear paralyze us. And so as we accomplish one smaller goal and keep on, it's going to give us the momentum that we need to keep moving in the direction that we're going. And so that's going to be the thing that's going to build your confidence. And so, I always tell people that, if you decide that you want to build a house, and so you go and buy some land, you're not just going to go and rent a U-Haul the next day and move all your stuff. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? And
I love that. Yep.
I was the one that, this is really crazy. I say, okay, I'm going to build a house, but then I'm trying to do my own electricity, my own plumbing, my own brickwork, my architecture. And so what happens is we overwhelm ourselves out the gate because we're doing things that we're not even gifted in doing. And so once you recognize who you are and being authentic with you, then I could say, you know what, hey, I'm just not the one for the electricity. Now, what I can do is come in and help you decorate. You see what I'm saying? And so I think you need to delegate that out. But in the past, I felt it was a weakness that I had this vision and then I couldn't do everything, But now I see that, you can be a visionary, and that's why your tribe and why people around you that are like-minded is so important, because when you get that perspective to see that, a lot of times if you're focused, you got tunnel vision, and that's a good thing to have on the skill that you have. So if I'm a good writer and I'm just pouring out these books, that's good. But, I may not be the best at orchestrating events and everything like that. But if we work together as a team, we can run like a well-oiled machine by knowing and going out and seeking those people that can enhance what I'm doing, and I can enhance what they're doing, and we can work together to live more successful.
I love that. And you're totally on point with that. One of the things I wanted to throw in there, too, is a lot of people get discouraged or feel defeated when they try to go out and do something, and then all they encounter is you got to have this much money, this costs money, that costs money, do this, do that. And then they're like, oh, I'm never going to get this done, and then they just drop everything and stop. Well, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. Don't let that stop you. And, yes, you do have to stay in your wheelhouse and stay in your lane and do what you can do, but there are other ways to get what you need. And number one, you could barter with someone. If they have a skill that you want, you have a skill that they want. You guys come together, talk about what you can do, and you make something awesome out of that. You could collaborate with other individuals, and maybe you get a group of people, and maybe something that would have cost you on your own, a couple $1,000s, now it only costs you maybe $200, $150, whatever.
Absolutely.
But you're putting that collective thing together. So I want to let people know you don't have to always look at you either have to do everything yourself or you got to spend all the money yourself. There are other ways to get it done because at some point you're going to have to spend money. It's crazy for people to think you can, build $1 million business on $50. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
You got to spend some money, or even when you get it, you're going to have to spend something to keep it going. But in the beginning, let's get creative with this stuff. God gave us a mind of creativity, so let's use that.
That is so true. And you were so on point with that collaboration because, as a family, we were approached. We started our protocol group initially to kind of represent ourselves in reality TV, and we were approached by several people. They filmed us as a family, and it just didn't work out because the values that we have with maintaining our household just didn't mesh, and to be quite frank, they expected us to mirror a Caucasian family that had a large family, and it didn't really allow us to be authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that just, then just the type of contracts, just with our experience. So I don't want to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because their experience could be different. But that's how we initially got to that. We did things in the community, and people took note of that. And just like this last year on Thanksgiving, we prepared a meal for some firemen. We went over to the firehouse, gave them a meal they didn't know. And as a result, I met somebody on LinkedIn, same way, and he and I are collaborating on an event this Saturday to feed the community, and it's like, you don't always have to have the money. People can see what you're doing, which is you being who you are, and they recognize that value, and they give you a platform to even enhance what you're doing that much further.
That is so true. I love that, and congratulations on that. Collaborations are the best. Collaborations help you meet others. They help you stand out from the crowd, and then you build this new audience because the other people who you're collaborating with, their audience is going to see you, and because they've already been following this other person, they're like, okay, well, this person is okay because my leader is doing something with them, so it gives you like instant credibility. I love that, and congratulations on that.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We've come down to the end of our time together. It has gone by so fast, but before we leave, I want you to tell people how they can get in touch with you, and if they want to experience working with you, how they can do that too.
Okay. Well, I just have a special announcement. I guess I'll make it first on your show. I believe that with coaching, it's something that you have to be actively involved in. A lot of times we can give people products, but coaching is changing your mindset. And that's something that you have to kind of do a lot with people instead of telling them. You got to be right alongside to show them. So I'm actually offering a 6-month membership to people for starting December the 4th. I only have limited spots where they are able to have sessions with me monthly. And we have a weekly group session, and they have unlimited access to text and email me throughout the month. So that's something I'm going to be launching in December, and so I just want to put that plug out now on your show because you're the first one to find out about it. So that's going to be a 6-month membership. But they can get a hold of me by calling me. My number is 706. 580-9831, or they can email me at protocolgroupinc@gmail.com. So I do have LinkedIn handles and Facebook, but right now I said I'm, on my cleanse. I won't be back off the cleanse until December the 4th, which is when I'll be launching this membership for all of my groups and things of that nature.
That's awesome. Can you give us that email again?
Yes, that's paulgroup@gmail.com.
Great. That is awesome.
And that's
so everyone, I want you to take
P-R-O-T-O.
P-R-O-T-O, call group. Y-I-N-C?
Yeah. That's correct.
Great. Okay. Thank you for spelling that out. You know how the voice and everything. I want to make sure people get it.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, LaChelle, for joining me today and sharing those awesome life nuggets with people. I know that someone out there was touched by it and will be more successful just from hearing that. That one nugget, if people are listening right now and if you didn't get anything from this other than you need to be authentically you, that is what you need to take away from this. Yes, definitely. LaChelle, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, your busy day, and coming sharing the information with us. And I look forward to seeing you again on LinkedIn, online somewhere, and maybe we can connect again. And you are always welcome back to the show, so let us know when you got some new stuff going, okay?
Awesome. Don't tell me that now. I don't want to wear my welcome out.
Oh, that's okay. Just come back with this great stuff like you had, and it'll be great, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and everyone out there, have a great and wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for listening. We truly appreciate it. For information about guests, products, or services that were mentioned in this episode, log on to our website at www.csicorporation.com/unmarketing. To learn more, get a glimpse of our upcoming schedule, and join the unmarketing nation of entrepreneurs who are using marketing techniques that work right now. Until next time, keep moving forward.
And now, an ad from Dad.
All right, save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Can I take these off? All right. What is this? This looks good. Wow, that's well made. Where did you get this? I'm talking to you with the hair. Yeah, where did you get this? It's good stuff. That's solid. That's not veneer. That's solid stuff.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.